All right, y'all. The play-ins are happening right now. We've had some results in already. We have more play-in games coming. The regular season is over. So that means it is time for my second annual Sly Hooper end of the season, end of the regular season awards. And this is the first time I will include all NBA, all defense, all rookie teams. So that will be included in this edition of the award show for the first time in this channel's young history. And by the way, this is a fake ballot, so I have my own parameters, and parameters that, are mainly going to be set in stone for me as I do these awards every season. I don't have a real ballot, don't ever really aspire to have a real ballot just because of everything that comes with it. But that still doesn't mean I can't have my own ballot and have my own fun with my own criteria. And speaking of the criteria, because this video is going to be strictly all NBA, all defense, and all rookie teams, wanted to lay a few rules out there in order to even have consideration to make my all NBA teams. And there's going to be some glaring omissions here, which is why I'm going to bring up the criteria. And just simply, the first one, the player's team has to be in the play-in for consideration, just to get consideration. I know that early NBA coverage, we might have leaned too far into wins, rings, but winning still matters to me. Winning championships obviously still matters to me in the grand scheme of ranking players and all that stuff. Winning still matters. And if you cannot be one of the 20 NBA teams in a 30-team league to at least make the play-in, I'm not even talking playoffs. I'm just talking make the play-in to have a chance to get to the playoffs. If you cannot be one of 20 teams in a 30-team league to make the play-in, you're not getting consideration for the 15 best spots in the NBA. I'm sorry. So that means there's going to be some glaring omissions. And you can probably guess based off my comments who those glaring omissions are going to be. But you have to make the play-in. I'm sorry. I have to have standards. I understand that there are players who, have certain circumstances or, put up great numbers. And yeah, maybe there might be some exceptions down the road if somebody has a truly spectacular season and the situation they were in was just truly fucked up. But you have to at least make the play-in. I don't care what your surrounding roster is. Make the damn play-in tournament. And then number two, more importantly, and that's probably why you'll see a few other guys who had all-NBA cases, numbers-wise and record-wise, but didn't make it. You have to have at least 55 games played for me. And I know that availability is a novelty in today's NBA or the NBA of the last 4 to 5 years, but 55 games to me is very reasonable. I understand that there's load management and stuff like that, and the NBA really did nothing to reduce the workload of games, but you have to play at least 55 games. And there's other criteria for me too, but those are the two main ones to even be considered for my all-NBA team. So let's get right to it real quickly. Let's go through the all-NBA teams, first through third teams. Then we'll go through the first and second all-NBA defensive teams. And then we'll go through all rookie teams, the first and second team. So all-NBA, you can see all my choices up on the board. First team all-NBA for me, the guards, I have Donovan Mitchell and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Donovan Mitchell took a leap this year, a superstar leap this year. Was the best player on a 50-win team, a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference, and Donovan Mitchell was just fucking spectacular, scoring the ball, efficient-wise. He tried his ass off on defense this year. Donovan Mitchell has been fantastic on both sides of the ball. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the numbers speak for itself, and he got a very, very young Thunder team into the play-in. If you're averaging 31, 5, and 5 on 63% true shooting percentage, and he was really good defensively as well, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is in the other guard spot. And then for forwards, I have Tatum and Giannis, obviously self-explanatory. And for center, I have Joel Embiid. Moving on to second team, and congratulations to the Sacramento Kings on a great season. They have 2 guys on my All-NBA teams. De'Aaron Fox is the third guard, the first guard on the second team. Second guard was tough because it came down to having to choose between 3 guards for 2 spots. Because as you can see, Steph Curry is the first guard on my third team. So it came down to spot number 2 on the second team and spot number 2 on the third team. And I had to choose between Brunson, John Morant, and Drew Holiday. I gave the edge to Drew Holiday in the second guard spot on the second team. The way he carried the Bucks above water when Giannis was gone, when Chris Middleton missed games, was nothing short of special. Drew Holiday had a career year. He is one of the best defensive guards in the NBA. This was a great playmaking season from Drew Holiday as well. And he was just fantastic all year for the Bucks, a career year for the Bucks. And while I had an all-star video earlier this year where I said I would have replaced James Harden with Drew Holiday, I just think on the whole, when you close out the season and stuff like that and look at the whole season as a whole, Drew Holiday was just a bit better. So Drew Holiday is the second guard on my second team spot. And then the forwards, I have Jimmy Butler and Jaylen Brown. Those are kind of self-explanatory for me. I mean, Jaylen Brown had a career year and was the second best player on the second best team in the NBA. And then center, I have Jokic. And then the guard spots, I already mentioned I have Steph. And then I have Jalen Brunson here. I thought Brunson was spectacular all year. And then really post-New Year, Brunson played like an all-NBA level guard. He had a legit case for the All-Star team. He was just putting up fantastic numbers. I mean, post-New Year, he averaged damn near 28 points per game, shot over 45% from 3, nearly 6 assists, really brought stabilization to that Knicks team, and they are in the playoffs against an opponent that I think they can legitimately beat, though I would pick the Cavs in 7. But I think the Knicks have more than a puncher's chance of beating the Cavs, and Jalen Brunson is a big reason why. He was just spectacular this year. And then forward, LeBron, the all-time leader in points in the NBA. He barely made the games cutoff. He played 56 games, but in those 56 games, LeBron James just putting up ridiculous numbers. 29 points per game, over 8 rebounds, nearly 7 assists on 50% shooting from the field. LeBron should be there. So I have LeBron there. Then I have Julius Randle as my other forward. And then the third team center, that was pretty easy. Domantas Sabonis. There was no other case to me other than Domantas Sabonis, an MVP candidate, in my opinion, as well. So the centers were relatively easy. The guards were hard as well. And yes, there are 2 glaring omissions, Luka Doncic and Damian Lillard. I already explained at the beginning of the video. Yes, they are all NBA caliber guards. Luka Doncic in particular is a top 5 to 7 player wherever you want to rank him. He no doubt a superstar, perennial MVP candidate, but his team did not make the play-in this year. So I am not putting Luka Doncic on my all-NBA team. If you want to say it's harsh, well, that's the reality of sports. Like, you could do your own ballot if you want to. If you want to try to justify a top 5 to 7 player missing the play-in altogether, you go for it. That's your thing. But I'm sorry, Doncic also has some culpability in this, mainly on the defensive end of the floor. And by the way, the Mavs had some winnable games to make the play-in. How about not losing to the fucking Charlotte Hornets back-to-back times? Not just once, the very next game, you lost to them again. And you had some terrible losses aside from the Hornets losses. Doncic was a turnstile on defense. Like, I don't care what roster you have around you. I don't care how decimated the roster was after the Kyrie trade. But you got to make the play-in if you're Luka Doncic. I'm sorry. Same with Damian Lillard. Because the Blazers, I thought, got better compared to last year. I like the moves they made over the summer. And in a jumbled Western Conference, you can at least make the play-in. And yes, I know, the Blazers shut it down toward the last few weeks of the season. That's my point. If you guys have Luka and Dame on your all-NBA teams because of the numbers and the circumstances around them, fine, but they didn't make the play-in, and they didn't win enough for me to get on the All-NBA team. Make the play-in tournament. It is what it is. So with that out of the way, let's go real quickly through my all-defense and all-rookie teams, because I spent a lot of this talking about the All-NBA teams. But all-defense, Drew Holiday, of course, Alex Caruso, and then the three guys I have in my top three for Defensive Player of the Year. At forward, Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley, and Brook Lopez. And then my second team, I have Derek White, Dylan Brooks, Jaden McDaniels, who was one of the best isolation defenders in the NBA. And man, I didn't even make a video about the Wolves' meltdown towards the end of the regular season in that last game against the Pelicans. But man, that was a big loss for them in that play-in game. But Jaden McDaniels makes my second team. I have Giannis on my second team, and then I have Bam Adebayo as my second team center. All rookie teams. Jaden Ivey started off a little rough, looked like a 19-year-old point guard who was learning how to control different speeds and stuff like that, but man, he made some massive strides over the last 3 months of the season, man. The chemistry and the pick and roll with Jalen Duren, making better decisions. Ivy was just a lock on the all-rookie team for me. I'm sure he was a lock for a lot of people. And then, of course, J-Dub, Jalen Williams, the wing Jalen Williams for the Oklahoma City Thunder, was just solid all year. Then post-All-Star break really turned it the fuck up. And then I have Keegan Murray, started 78 out of 80 games for the Sacramento Kings, who turned it around and are third in the Western Conference. A crucial part of one of the best offenses in NBA history with his shooting, broke the NBA rookie three-point record. And as the season went along, it became apparent that Murray was just more than a spot-up shooter or a deep-range spot-up shooter. He could shoot off movement. He could shoot off the catch. He showed that in Summer League as well and was just instrumental. Once he moved to the starting lineup, it made all the sense in the world. So Keegan Murray's on my first team. Then, of course, Paolo Banchero and Walker Kessler. And then my second team, I have Andrew Nembhard and Benedict Mathurin as my second team guards for all rookie. And then I have Tari Eason, Jeremy Sohan, and Jalen Duren. There were other ones I left on the cutting room floor that I felt bad about, like Jabari Smith Jr., who turned it on towards the end of the season. Shaedon Sharpe started to get more opportunities as it became clear the Blazers were shutting it down to better their lottery odds. There is just a lot of good rookies in this class, and I feel like that's going to be a theme over the next few years because we've had a lot of good rookie classes the last 4 to 5 years, 4 to 5 to 6 years even, and I don't see that trend stopping because players are coming in more talented than ever, or players coming into the draft knowing what their ultimate role is going to be in the NBA and embracing that. There's just a lot of talent, a lot of utility, a lot of good players in this draft class. So those are my All-NBA teams, my All-NBA defensive teams, and my All-NBA rookie teams. If you have any disagreements, let me know in the comments below. Be civil, of course, and also stay tuned for the awards portion of this award show where we award, obviously, Coach of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Most Improved, even the Clutch Player of the Year award. So stay tuned.